Oh, good morning, guys. It is 7:30 and it is Saturday, the 1st of February. We are currently in a Premier Inn down in Uxbridge because we are stopping tonight in a little place called Rye down in, I think it's Sussex. So yeah, Rye is a fantastic little town, and the place that we're stopping in is called the Mermaid Inn, which is supposed to be one of the most haunted pubs in the UK. So really looking forward to that. Some amazing history to go along with it. So I can kind of post about that on Facebook. If people don't follow me on Facebook, I'm on there. So yeah, just getting up, getting dressed, going for breakfast, and then we'll be on our way. First stop off. I think Bodium, Bodium Castle. So yeah, happy days. So that was Beachy Head, and we got lucky, and you can see all of the paragliders behind us flying around all of the cliffs there. We're getting a brew now because it is Baltic, but what's interesting is that down there is Eastbourne, and I basically ran the South Downs coastal path like all the way over there. I mean, it starts over in Winchester, but you can see kind of the route that I took down and then down into the town where it finishes. So yeah, I think I did about 120 miles by the time I'd added the bit extra on. So it's quite an interesting jaunt into history again. I didn't actually realise it was here, but as soon as we come up I knew where I'd been. So yeah, brew time, and now down onto Rye. We're hoping if we go down the coast here, there's been some spottings of humpback whales off the Sussex coast, or off of the Eastbourne coast, so we're hoping we might actually see some as we go down, but I'm not so sure, but we'll keep our eye out. Alright folks, so we are at Bodium Castle now. I believe it's 14th century, but I'll do a little voiceover of some of the history about this place. Beautiful drive down, some wonderful old buildings and things all down this way. It's really good. So we're going to have a wander in there. We're going to grab a bit of lunch maybe here, and then on to Rye in an hour or so, or a couple of hours. So yeah, catch ya. Alright guys, and welcome to the story of Bodium Castle, a medieval fortress that's got it all. Towering walls, a deep moat, and enough history to make your head spin. Nestled in the East Sussex countryside, Bodium isn't just a castle, it's a time machine taking us straight back to the days of knights, battles and a whole lot of medieval drama. But let's rewind to the 14th century. It's 1385 and England is on the edge. The 100 Years' War is raging with France and coastal towns are under threat. Enter Sir Edward Dahlgrenge, knight, landowner and a man with a vision. Having fought for the English in France, Sir Edward knew a thing or two about castles, so when King Richard II gave him permission to fortify his estate, he went all out, building the stunning stronghold we see today. Now, let us talk defences, because Bodium isn't just pretty, it's clever. First up, the moat. It's wide, deep and makes a castle look like it's floating. But don't be fooled, the water wasn't for decoration, it was a sneaky way to keep out unwanted guests. Good luck storming the gates when you're up to your knees in water. And the towers? These weren't just medieval skyscrapers. They were lookout points, snipers' nests, and defensive strongholds all rolled into one. The entrance? Oh, that was another medieval trick. Defenders could rain arrows, boiling water, or worse, down on any attacker trying to barge in. And here, uniquely at Bodium, you can actually take a poop while looking at your enemy. Bodium Castle may have been built for war, but he never actually saw one. No dramatic sieges, no flaming arrows, no heroic last stands. Instead, it stood as a symbol of power, wealth and a warning to anybody thinking of causing trouble. But time wasn't kind to Bodium, and by the 17th century it was abandoned and left to crumble. Bits were even sold off for building materials. Fast forward a few hundred years, and the once mighty castle was just a romantic ruin. That is, until one man, Lord Curzon, stepped in. In the early 20th century, he bought the castle, restored what he could, and made sure Bodium would be preserved for the future generations. Today it's one of England's most iconic castles, cared for by the National Trust and visited by thousands every year. So there you have it, Bodium, a castle, a fortress that never fought a war but still won a place in history, a masterpiece of medieval design, a home fit for a knight, and a place where past and present collide. Next time you visit, just imagine Sir Edward watching over his creation, nodding in approval.
This one of that, I don't like that dress house. We got Thomas Bean's room. All rooms upstairs.
There's just doors everywhere.
Georgina's room.
Hi, where's Georgina?
These beautiful. Look. Twins. We're twins.
What, with massive hips?
Yeah. That's Perrin's room and that's Jay Kirk's
That's the
room.
mayor of Rye.
There was another mayor this way.
Well, I thought the landlord here was the mayor.
Oh, there was bits of all of them. So you've got a mayor there. Okay. Foot and water, the smuggler,
Oh.
and then the Grey's room.
I'm assuming that's then what it looked like.
Mm. Oh yeah.
And then that's the,
Residents in there.
yeah, but he's doing some historical drama, I think. Yeah. I know. Right, folks, we are in Rye currently, and we've just come out of the Mermaid Inn. So the inn itself is from about 1430s, I think, from what I read, but it's been around since I think the early sort of 1100s as a port mainly. Lots of history.
House bikes by me. It's called the Santa Maria. Look how beautiful it is.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be buying many houses here when they're like 800,000 pounds for a house. In fact, that could be the 800,000 pound house. So I don't think we'll be buying many houses in Rye. So we're just going to have a wander and a bit of a look in the shops, and then we'll probably go back to the hotel, and then we'll grab something to eat a bit later. So yeah, let's have a wander. Nestled on the East Sussex coast, the town of Rye is a gem of English history, packed with tales of medieval warfare, smugglers, and the ever-present battle against the sea. Today it's a charming cobbled street haven for visitors, but beneath its picturesque service lies a past filled with drama, danger, and a touch of the illicit. It wasn't always a coastal town. Back in the medieval period, it was part of the mainland, with the sea miles away. But the ever-changing coastline saw the sea creep closer, and by the 12th century, Rye was an important port, bustling with ships and traders. One of the most dramatic moments in Rye's history came in 1377, when French raiders, probably sick of English ships plundering their coast, decided to return the favour. Sailing across the channel, they stormed Rye, burning the town to the ground and making off with everything valuable they could carry. Even St Mary's Church was set ablaze and its bells carried off as trophies. But Rye wasn't about to take this lying down, and a few years later, in a daring act of revenge, the people of Rye launched a counter-attack. They crossed the sea, raided the French port of Dieppe, and stole their bells back, proudly rehanging them in St Mary's, where they still ring today. By the mid-18th century, Rye itself had become downright thrilling in its drama, but this time by the heavy taxes on goods like tea, brandy, tobacco made smuggling a highly profitable trade. And then enter the hawkers gang, a ruthless group of smugglers who ran an operation from Kent to Sussex. It became one of their key landing points, and local legend says the town's network of tunnels and hidden passages helped smugglers evade the authorities. Some claim you can still find trapdoors and secret cellars in old inns like the Mermaid Inn, which, by the way, is one of the most haunted pubs in England, but that's another story. At the golden age of smuggling, Rye settled into a quieter life. Its port gradually silted up, leaving it more inland than ever before. And with the arrival of the railway in the 19th century, it became a beloved retreat of artists and writers, including Henry James, who lived at Lamb House. Today, Rye is one of England's best-preserved medieval towns, attracting visitors with its history, haunted pubs, and stunning views of the surrounding marshes.
Значи долу, че и добре, тази камък продължи на работи.